Well guys, I wanted to show you how my eggs were doing in my Brinsea Mini Incubator, my Brinsea Mini Advance Incubator. But first I want to show you some of my setup here and discuss some of the problems I'm having. So what I did was my mini incubator is up there and it is running off 12 volts. And I got my 12 volts here. The plug, I just took off the power brick and put a 12 volt plug on it. That's all fine and good. The problem is when you try and power this thing with 12 volt and not use the power adapter, how do you do it? And I've got a couple of things here. I've got my power pack, which has a 12 volt lighter adapter on it, and I have, this is my Xantrex power pack as well. Power pack solar, it's got a little 5-watt solar panel on it, which I'm not using, of course, but it also has a 12 volt plug. Now the problem is I can plug my Brinsea into this, and it does power it, but then the battery runs out, of course, so you need to plug it in. And of course it's got a plug in the back, but this plug, I don't know how many milliamps it puts into it, but it's not enough. This thing, the Mini Advance draws 1.5 amps. So I need something that could potentially replace 1.5 amps an hour, and this doesn't do it. I'm guessing this is maybe a 500 milliamp charger that's kind of inside here. I don't know the specs of it. Now this guy, excuse my sniffling, I'm sick. This guy, if I plug it into the 12 volt outlet there, it runs fine. If I, however, plug it into the wall, plugging it into the wall with the charger cable basically turns off the electronics here so that I can't actually use the 12 volt adapter. It actually switches this off when it's being charged, I guess, so that whatever's coming out of here doesn't go over 12 volts. So I can't use that feature on it and charge this at the same time. And otherwise, this only lasts overnight, so I'd have to come down and plug it in, or charge the battery, and then take it off the charger and turn the thing back on. But the thing is here, this also is not a 1.5 amp hour charger. This charges at 750 milliamps. So I've got all these wires here for a particular reason. What I'm doing is I'm bypassing this switched socket, because this doesn't work when it's trying to charge. It doesn't. The electronics in here don't let it turn on the socket. So I'm going direct to the battery with just a socket plug with the alligator clamps. And that gets me around the electronics. But then that continues to drain the 750 milliamp hour charger. So then I've got my Noco Genius on it, which in this configuration is enough, it seems, to mostly keep it topped up. And every once in a while I have to come down here and disconnect the cable and reconnect it so it senses that the battery is drawing down. If you look here, it shows 50. That means it's 50% charged. So what I have to do here is actually come and plug and unplug it. If I go and just hit the buttons and get it back down to the small 12 volt, that will put 0.9 amps into it, and that will reset it. What this thing does is, it's maybe too smart. It senses that or it doesn't sense when the battery's lower. It charges it up, but that then doesn't resense that the battery is low. So it'll get down 50%, and this thing will still show green because it figured it was done. And now it's showing 100%, and I don't know why, because this obviously is not showing. And now it's only showing 60. So I don't know what the deal is there. So I've had a bit of a trial trying to get this thing powered. I've been doing it, but it's been quite a mess of using different chargers. I had another car charger, and it wasn't working because what would happen is the car charger would short circuit because it's not wanting to see a battery continually drawn down and drained. So these things don't really work as kind of battery backups or power sources real efficiently. And I lost the Brinsea power brick, which I can buy another one of. Now, so all of that mess, I'm just saying, if you're going to go 12 volt, have a system that is enough to power it. And now my system out in the chicken shed is enough to power it with solar panels, and it works 100% perfectly. The only problem is it's still winter outside, so it's not warm enough yet to trust and put this whole thing in my chicken shed and power it off that system, which works 100%. So I'm having to figure out my 12 volt options in the house. And like I say, the power brick that puts out 1.5 amps properly for this, I lost it. I can't find it, so that is that for that one. Alright, so getting back to this, what I want to do is do some candling. Now, I am at the 5-day mark. I was supposed to do candling a week ago on these things. If not more than that, I think at day 8. Was it day 14 or something, or 15 you're supposed to candle? 8 days in. I never did do that. I have only 5 days left for these guys, and I haven't candled them yet. So, better late than never. One thing about these that I'll say is that I didn't keep very good care of these. My trouble with the power issues, these guys were turned off for, it could have been up to 12 hours cooling, and they were cold when I got back to it and got the power on, so I don't have a lot of hope for these things, but we'll see where it goes. The humidity's been wonky because I haven't been filling it up, and I've just not had proper time to do this properly. So with the power issues and other things going on, so this may be a complete bust. But I'm going to do some candling and see if there's any growth in there. I've got my LED here. I'm going to take this off, and let's just see if there's anything in them. So, to candle, you basically just put a light under them. I'm going to turn the light off here. The darker it is, the easier it is. So this is actually full. You can't see a lot through that, and I hope you can see that. So that means there's something growing in there, and I hope, like I said, I hope I didn't kill it. Let's go to a different one here. This one's pretty solid as well, so see if I can find a non-solid one. That's pretty solid as well. I'm hoping maybe my light may not be bright enough. Let's see, because all these look good so far. My light may not be bright enough, because I expected to see one dud in here. I'm not really seeing it. I'll check this one. Alright, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get a brighter light here and we'll see what we can find. Okay, I've got a brighter light here. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can. Maybe you can see the brighter part of the egg there. So I know this is working. So there's something growing in there. Like I said, I hope I didn't kill them last time the temperature got down. This one's, you can see the end of it as well. It's a little bit lighter. I really hope you can see that. Like that. See the line there in the egg. This part is the air bubble here, and the chick is in here. So these all look pretty good. There's the air bubble. You can see it pretty well in that one, and the rest is solid. So that means there's a chicken growing in there. Now again, I'm going to be amazed if these actually survive, to be honest. I haven't treated them very well. So, yeah, these all look really good. Like, all things considered, they look very, very good. Whoop, I almost dropped that one. My goodness. I dropped them. Well, this one looks good as well. See the air bubble on this side, and the darker spot on this side. So, all things considered, there's the air bubble you can see on this side with the bottom of the egg there and the line. These are all solid, so that's all you gotta do. And on day 8, you can see kind of a dark spot in the center of them, and that way you know they're growing. If they're bright orange, then you know that they are not developing, basically. Now, I didn't have any, so it looks like these are actually all good. Like I said, I may have killed them when the power went out, and maybe they're not growing anymore, but they look pretty solid. So I don't know. I think there might be a couple of chicks out of this, even with all the horrible life they've been through so far. So that's great. 5 days left. So in a couple of days, I'll probably have an update here for you, and hopefully we'll see a couple of new chicks if I can keep them alive. So that's great. That's just an update. If you want to know how to candle, maybe I'll try and post a link to a video where I've done it again before. But basically, all you need is a nice LED flashlight. No, not a nice one, just a nice bright one. Doesn't have to be fancy. This is a cheap dollar store one. Something that has really bright LEDs. The brighter it is, the easier it is. And just cup your fingers like this around it to kind of make a seal around the egg, and stick the egg right on there, and then you just slowly rotate the egg. And if you take one out of your fridge that, you know, for eating, put it on here, and then put one of your incubating eggs on there, you'll notice the difference. The one will be bright orange, and the other one you'll start seeing some dark spots inside, some blood vessels or whatever. And especially near day, you know, where there's 5 days left, it should be solid like mine are. Now for this, what I do is I put a blanket over it. It kind of keeps it a little bit more cozy. The Brinsea is able to heat it a little bit more efficiently and keep the temperature steady. And so yeah, that's how you candle it. And basically, if you see one that is bright orange, that means nothing is developing, so you can toss it right away, basically. But anything others where there's dark spots or where they're solid, all these are solid amazingly. That means there's potentially we'll have a chick pop out of these guys. You know, if we're lucky here. And yeah, we'll see in a couple of days, and I'll certainly give you the full update video of them hatching. So. What you just saw there is the Brinsea Mini Advance doing its auto rotate feature. So it beeps and then it rotates them, and it just rolls them 5 degrees or so, and that helps them. That acts more like the mother hen in the nest, where she would kind of nose them over with her beak and just turn them over, and that increases the hatch rate of your eggs there. So I definitely recommend the Brinsea Mini Advance. It's pretty much automated. All you gotta do is keep the water up, and I haven't even been doing that properly. So I'm really hoping these birds will be okay. But all things considered, this is a kind of almost a set and forget sort of incubator, other than the water that you gotta keep topped up. So that's it. That's the update for today, the homestead update, and I hope to have some Chantecler chicks real soon for you guys to see. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.